What makes it different between getting accepted to a German public university or not? How to estimate your chances? What plays the key role? What is the final decision criteria? CV, motivational letter, grades, practical experience. Watch this video till the very end and you will know what you need and what to do. Hi guys, I'm Evgeny Liseyev and today's video is all about the enrollment system in German universities. A little disclaimer here. I'm gonna mainly focus on the master's program and on the enrollment system in my university, but don't worry, the system is very similar in all public universities in Germany. While it might not be that simple to get a place, the enrollment system itself is pretty simple. First of all, the chances to get a place depend on the number of applications. The more popular the program is, the lower admission rate it has. And by the way, it does not necessarily mean that it's going to be better for you. Always focus on your preferences and your career plans. If you struggle to find the right place to study, I highly recommend you watch this video when I share with you some valuable information how you can find the right place to study so you won't regret it afterwards. So basically, how the enrollment system works, every document that you have in your application gives you some points. And the more points you have, the more chances you have to get a place. Moreover, there might be a certain number of points that, provided you have it, you automatically get a spot. In my case, this magic number was 70. I suppose the way it works is that the admission committee collected some experience throughout the years and came to a conclusion that there won't be more candidates with this number of points than there are places in the program. So they kind of just use it as a threshold for admission. So let's make a concrete example to help you understand it better. Let's say there are 100 places in the program available and there are 200 applications. Just to make it as simple as possible. Every applicant has a score, and so there is a ranking of all of the applicants. Let's say 70 applicants have a score higher than the threshold and so automatically get a place. So there are 30 places left. What happens next? Well, it depends on the concrete program. One way is an additional interview. The admission committee conducts interviews with applicants that have less points than the threshold, but more than, well, let's say the second threshold. Let's say it's gonna be 50 points if our first one is 70. And depending on how good the applicant would present himself during the interview, he or she could get some additional points. I, for example, had such an interview once and I have got an admission letter afterwards. If there are no additional steps in the process, the places are just given to the candidates according to the ranking. Now, I might imagine your main question is, how can I get those points? So let's try to deal with it. What's the most important factor in your application to a German university? It's your grades. In Germany, it's all about the grades. I guess it's because they consider this factor to be the most objective one. If you're applying for a master's program, it would be your bachelor's grade. If you're applying for a bachelor's, it would be your high school grade. They usually even write it in their final decision criteria as a hint for you. It's so important that you get around a half of your overall score just for your grades. So if you are still studying your bachelor's and you want to go to Germany for your master's, or you're still studying in the high school and you want to go to Germany to do your bachelor's, definitely try to walk an extra mile to get some good grades. It's gonna come in handy. So it's 50%. Let's say, to keep it simple, that we have 100 points overall, so the grades would be around 50 points. So if you have an average grade, you could get around 25. If you have above average, that might be 35 to 40. If you have an excellent grade, that might be 45 to 50. Now, if your grades are good, congratulations, you have a very good starting point. If not, don't give up. You still have a chance to get a place if you score some points in other things. Let's see how. The way it usually works is you can get up to 10 points for each of your other parts of the application, or up to 10% of your overall score. Now, I can't guarantee you that it's gonna be completely the same in your concrete study program, in your concrete university, but it's gonna be very similar. Maybe the exact number of points may vary, but the logic of the system is going to be very similar, so I want you to understand it. So let's talk about each of those documents step by step. By the way, if you find the video useful so far, I would highly appreciate if you hit the like button. Thank you for doing that. Motivation letter. It's an essential part of almost every application to study in Germany. I have a dedicated video on the topic where I share some tips and tricks and explain you what makes an outstanding motivation letter. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. The link would be in the description. In short, you have to answer 2 questions in your motivation letter. Namely, first, how this program fits your future career plans, and second, how your past, so your background, suits this program. And depending on how successful you're going to answer these 2 questions, you can earn up to 10 points or up to 10% of your overall application score. So it's an excellent opportunity for you to score some easy points here. I mean, you don't really need to study for several years and pass a lot of examinations to get it. All you need to do is to understand what it is that they want to read in your motivation letter and give it to them. You don't need to lie, just need to find the relevant things from your life and present it to the jury using the right language. Once again, remember that all of the tips are in the dedicated video on the topic, and we are moving on to the second point. Language certificates. One of the required documents to apply for a master's program in Germany is a language certificate. IELTS or TOEFL if you apply for an English taught program, or a test DAF if you're applying to a German taught program. Unless, of course, you are from a country where this language is native. And while we all prepare really hard for it to get the required grade, there are no points for it in your overall application score. It's rather a necessary condition to apply, and I would say it makes sense because everybody has it. If, let's say, you give 10 points for it, everybody will get it and nothing is changed. So it's a filter. Everybody that gets the required grade gets through, everybody else stays out. Appropriate background. You have some additional points for having certain courses in your bachelor's that are relevant for your future program. In my cases, it was courses related either to business or to IT. The more ECTS you have in those courses, the more points you have. Well, here is really nothing that you can do except for choosing the program that really fits your bachelor's. At the same time, if your dream is to do something else not really connected to your background, and if it's possible for you to apply, I would definitely recommend you do it. After all, you have nothing to lose. Relevant practical experience. For the master's program, you can get some additional points for the internships that you have done. Very important here is, of course, that it must be relevant for your program. If you want to study architecture, for example, the fact that you have worked in a restaurant wouldn't likely give you any points. But if you have an opportunity to get some practical experience, definitely do it. Not only it's gonna help you in your professional development, but you also get some additional points to your overall applications. How many points you get here depends on how long this internship was, how relevant it is to the program, and what have you achieved and learned during it. So don't forget to mention it in your CV, and you may also attach an additional document to your application proving that you have done this internship. Or you can even attach a recommendation letter from your boss. Academic essay. Now, it's not necessarily a part of application process in all of the master's program, but it was a requirement in my case, and I have seen it in other master programs too. So they give you a certain topic and ask you to write a 1000 words essay on it. You can get up to 10 points for it. This way, they check whether you have the necessary skills and capabilities to do some research, to work with literature, to summarize it, to make some conclusions, and of course, to express your own thoughts about it. And all of these skills are, of course, very useful during your master's program. And while it's going to require some additional effort from your side during the application process, I'm going to argue that it's actually a good thing if it's required in your desired study program. I'm going to give you 2 reasons. Firstly, you get an additional opportunity to get some points for your overall score. And secondly, some of the potential applicants might take a look at the requirements, see that there is an essay required, and just refuse to apply. Therefore, you're gonna have less competitors. Let me know if you want me to make a dedicated video on the academic essay for your application. Extracurriculum activities. Everything that stands out in your background, not directly related to your studies, might give you some additional points. It could be volunteer work, sports, leadership, seminars and courses, whatever it can be. Universities appreciate when you do something else besides your studies, when you're a versatile person. So once again, don't forget to mention it in your application. Usually the right place is CV or additional documents. You might even mention it in your motivation letter if it really serves your point. But once again, remember not to overdo it. The fact that you were third in a dance competition in your kindergarten or that you helped an elderly person cross the road might not be the right thing to use. In my case, I have mentioned that I am an international master in chess as well as a 2-time Nuremberg chess champion. As I have discovered later on, it helped me to stand out, even though, of course, there is no direct connection to the study program. As you can see, even if your grades are nothing special, you still can get easily accepted, provided that you work good on your application. Now, it's time for you to get to know how you can get the full 10 points for your motivation letter by watching this video. Wait, before you do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you know everything you need about studying in Germany, and good luck with your application.